everyone, my name is Natalie and welcome to or back to my channel. So it's been a while since I filmed like a proper sit down bookish video. I have been recovering from open heart surgery, which if you want to know about how that went, then check out the last video I uploaded. But if you don't, then no problem. I'm here now to bring you bookish content back, and it's been a while since I filmed a good old book haul, which is what you're getting today. So these are the books that I've collected within the last like 7 months, so it may be a long one. The first few books I'm going to haul were ones that I found in a secondhand bookshop, and they are both by Terry Pratchett. So we've got The Hogfather and then we've got Mort. I am trying to collect like the Colour of Magic series. I haven't started reading it yet, but I've got the first 2 books in the series, so I'm hoping to get them read this year. And I also love these older editions, so what I'm doing is I'm going round charity shops to try and find ones that look this way. So Mort is one of the Colour of Magic series, which obviously I'm not going to tell you what this one's about because I haven't even read The Colour of Magic yet, so I'm not even going to spoil myself, let alone you guys. And then we have The Hogfather, which I'm going to wait to read this until Christmas time, but I cannot wait. I do remember that Sky did quite a few years ago, like 10 or 12 or something years ago, did do a adaptation of The Hogfather with David Jason in it. So I can't wait to read this because I remember watching the trailer for that and thinking it looked good. And again, this is also part of the Discworld series, which is the Colour of Magic series. I don't know why I've been calling it the Colour of Magic. I know it's called the Discworld series, so that's my bad. The next one I picked up was Pandora's Jar, Women in Greek Myths by Natalie Haynes. And this is a collection of stories about putting women in the centre again and about discussing their experiences within the Greek myths that we know and love. I can't wait to read this. Firstly, the cover is like stunning. I love this shade of blue, and I'm also really big into Greek myths and Greek legends. I also love like Norse, I love mythology so much, so this is just another book that I can read and devour, and I can't wait to see what this author does with these women. The next book I'm going to discuss is one, when I found out this book was happening, I found out about this book in 2021 and I have been waiting for its release since then. This, I am so gutted that I wasn't well enough to read during when I was recovering, because this came out in October and it would have been the perfect time to read it for Halloween, and that is Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw. And this book follows Jack Skellington and Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is a sequel with Sally as the main character, and after her and Jack get married, it follows her adventures as being the Pumpkin Queen. Whereas The Night Before Christmas showed Jack's adventures in Christmas Town, this follows Sally's adventures in Dreamtown. I cannot wait to read this. I think I'm going to try and wait until Halloween, but as it's January, that is quite a long way away, so I don't know if I'm going to fold before then. But of course, as with The Night Before Christmas, discovering a new town can lead to quite a few dangers, especially to the citizens of Halloween Town once Sally unleashes something she shouldn't. Okay, the next 2 books I'm going to haul were actually Christmas gifts, and I'm going to do this one first because it kind of links to Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, and that is this. My brother bought me this for Christmas, and it is a Disney Timeless Series signature book, and it comes in this amazing like protective packaging. And he bought me, of course, another edition of The Night Before Christmas. I absolutely adore The Night Before Christmas. I adore the movie, have done since I was a kid. I adore the book and the concept art of the book. This is only the second edition I own, but I've seen a few other editions that I want. Also, in case any of you are wondering, in this it does say 4 Rose on it. Now you may be thinking, my name's Natalie, so what's going on? That's my brother's nickname for me. He calls me Rose, has done since he could speak. None of us really know why, but we've just gone with it. And the other book that I received for Christmas was Jenny Colgan's The Christmas Bookshop. I've read quite a few of Jenny Colgan's work and I really do enjoy her stories. And also it's Christmas and it's set in a bookshop. What is not to love? And this book basically follows our main character, what was her name? Carmen. And she is desperately looking for a job. Her sister manages to find her a job in the bookshop. The only issue with this is this bookshop is run by a very grumpy older man, and if he doesn't start changing his ways and turning things around, then unfortunately this bookshop is set for closure. So I suppose this follows Carmen working with him and trying to help him turn it around so that the bookshop can remain open and become a success. And I can't wait for it. I love books set in bookshops or around bookish things, so I'm really going to enjoy this. Again, I'll be waiting to read this in December, so I've got a long wait before I'm picking up this book. The next book I have is actually a graphic novel and it's volume 5 of Saga. I absolutely love this comic book series. Yes, I am only on volume 4. I've read volume 4, hence why I've picked up volume 5. Now, I've got no idea where this story is heading. So I think there's like 10 volumes out now. If any of you are at volume 10, you know more than I do because I've got no idea where this story is heading. This basically follows our 2 main characters who are opposite species, but they're also species that are at war with each other. They end up falling in love, having a child together and having to go on the run. I absolutely love this. It is a mad series. It's so interwoven as well. Like, we follow so many different characters' storylines, but each storyline always comes back to our 2 main characters. So even while we're following multiple storylines, the other storylines and the people there are linked to our main characters, and what they are doing is because of our main characters. So I love this. I can't wait to read this one. And yeah, also the art style in it is incredible. It's so colourful. One thing I will say about this series is it is definitely adult. Like, there is nudity in this, so if you're looking at this, just be mindful with that. Now, the next book I have, I don't know if this is classed as like more personal, but I don't care. I'm going to show it to you anyway. I am on the asexual spectrum. I identify as demisexual, and I'm still learning like what all that means and everything. So I bought this. I've heard this is an amazing book to read, and it is called Ace, What Asexuality Reveals About Desire, Society and the Meaning of Sex by Angela Chen. I've heard good things about this book. A lot of other people who I follow or who I've spoken to who are also on the asexual spectrum have recommended this book and said it's a good book to read. So I'm going to trust them, and yeah, that's basically everything that this book is. It's more for my own knowledge, but again, if you are not really aware of this kind of sexuality, or if you want to learn more about it, then I've heard this is good. Hopefully I can do a review for you and let you know exactly what I thought. I feel like this book haul is so random, like there's not any type of anything to it, because the next books I have, I love acting. I used to act a lot when I was younger, and now that my heart surgery is out of the way, it's something that I desperately want to get back into. So I bought these 2 books. It's Contemporary Monologues for Women, The Good Audition Guide, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Now obviously these say for women, you can disregard that. These are just monologues from female identifying characters. So that's what I was more after, hence why I got these. But obviously anybody can read them, anybody can do these monologues, it doesn't matter. I've actually already bookmarked one of them because I've already sent a self-tape off, so we'll see how that goes. But I've read through a couple of these monologues and they seem really good. They're also quite easy to learn as well. You've got ones in here that are more complex and are more easy, and one thing I absolutely adore about these ones is that they don't just give you the monologues, they give you a page about background of the character, so age, where they're from, what their background is, and what is going on prior to the scene you're about to read. So it's so helpful, and I highly recommend these. If you're into monologues or if you're wanting to start acting, I think these are good. Okay, we have another book about bookshops here, and that is The Bookshop of the Broken-Hearted by Robert Hillman. I don't remember getting this one. I think this might be one that my mum read and she gave to me to read. Oh, okay. You know what? I've just been reading the back of this. I'm going to read the back to you out loud because this sounds so good. When Hannah Babel arrives in her hometown, no one is entirely sure what to make of her, least of all lonely farmer Tom Hope. It is 1968, 24 years since Hannah and her little boy were sent to Auschwitz. Tom can't imagine the kind of heartbreak Hannah has weathered, or how building Hannah's bookshop together will help them mend. That sounds incredible. This has definitely been bumped up. I can't wait to read this. Next we have What It Feels Like for a Girl by Paris Lees. I can't wait to read this one. I don't know how to describe this. I don't know if it's not quite a diary, but it's also not quite essays. But this has a bunch of things about what experiences it's like to be a girl, to be a woman. And each of these is broken down and told in chapters, and it just seems really eye-opening and really interesting to read. And again, this is another one I can't wait to read. This one though, it's going to be more of a harder hitting one. So next we have The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I have heard so much about this book. I've heard so much good stuff about this book, and again, this is one I bought when I was feeling a bit better, but again I was in a massive reading slump, so I didn't get to read it in October like I wanted to. But this follows our main character Clara, and she is an Everwitch. She has the abilities to control climate, to help out, and this world is full of witches who do that, who are relied upon to control the climate, who are relied on to do certain things. But the thing is, Clara doesn't actually want anything to do with her power. She doesn't want it anymore. But after a massive disaster happens, Clara starts to realise that she is the only one who can actually make a difference, and she might be the only one to be able to save and stop what's happening. Again, this sounds amazing. I love witchy books, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to wait until October to read this one, but we'll see what happens. The next one we have is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu. I'm struggling to pronounce this last name. This was a massive book, I think last year, and I didn't read it. I haven't read it yet, obviously it's in my haul pile. But what I did read was Before the Coffee Gets Cold, More Tales from a Cath, I think it was. I didn't realise they were different books. I don't know how I didn't realise they were different books, but what I actually ended up doing was reading the sequel to this one first. So I'm hoping it doesn't matter too much. So I'm going to read this one still because I absolutely loved the other one. I loved the Cafe of Time Travel. I love the characters. I thought it was amazing. In case you don't know what this is about a cafe that lets you travel in time. So you go to this cafe, there is a particular seat you can sit in. If you go to this seat, they will pour you a drink and you can go back to the time period you want to. Whether it's to meet someone, whether it's to apologise to someone, whether it's to see like someone who's died again. You can only visit that person if they have also been to that cafe. If they haven't, you're not going to be able to see them because you're not allowed to leave your seat. If you leave your seat, bad things happen. So yeah, I love this story. I love whimsy, I love time travel, and yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to love these stories as much as I love them in the second book. We've got about 6 books to go, so we're almost there. The next book is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I've heard about this book for many years. I can't remember a thing about it. I just remembered it sounded good. And so I picked it up a while ago. I think I picked it up in July, maybe June. I don't remember. I don't remember what this book is about. My camera cut off, so I don't know where I was at. But the next book is Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. This became on my radar like 3 years ago, and I never picked it up. I can't remember why, but I didn't pick it up until last year. I've heard great things about it. In fact, when I did pick it up, the bookseller behind the counter was raving about it and said it was amazing, and I can't wait. This is a graphic novel and the art style is wonderful, and this follows our sidekick Nimona and a supervillain, and I think it's them going on this adventure together and trying to prove to the world that the heroes aren't actually heroes, and them trying to prove that something else is going on. I can't wait to read this one. I can't wait to read a lot of books, very clearly. This one I might pick up quite soon because it sounds really intriguing, and graphic novels never take me as long to read as normal novels do, so this might be one I would pick up very soon. The next book I have is the last book in a series, and that is The Golden Enclave's Lesson 3 of the Scholomance by Naomi Novik. I read the first book in this series and I really enjoyed it. I haven't picked up the second one yet, but I picked up the third one because it came out last year and I own the other 2 in hardback, and I really wanted this one in hardback, so I picked it up quick because in the UK we don't get hardbacks for long. They are out for about a year and then there are just paperbacks. I don't know why, they kind of just get rid of hardbacks and stop printing them, I think. This follows our main character Elle as she is at a magical boarding school. It follows her as she is an outcast, but then as the series progresses we find that she's finding friends, she's got a love interest, and even though she's got such this massive power inside of her that she needs to learn to control, she basically needs all the help she can get. Again, liked the first one, looking forward to continue with the second, but yeah, this is the third. Okay, second to last book, we're almost there. I feel like I've come full circle because the last book I'm showing is, if you remember, like towards the beginning of this video, I said I absolutely loved Greek myths and all kinds of mythology. The last book I have is Lore Olympus Volume 1 by Rachel Smith. I have heard so many things about this. I can't wait to read it. It's got such beautiful illustrations. I love the blue and the pink. Like, this is just amazing. I do like the story of Hades and Persephone, so to see it in a new way is amazing, especially in a graphic novel format, and I just love the colours of this. The only thing I will say is this book does deal with obviously heavy content. I am going to show this up and show you, because this does have the content warnings in the front, but yeah, and this is just such a pretty book and I can't wait to read it. Like I said, I keep saying that about all of them because a lot of these books I forgot I picked up, and now going through the big pile I have, I'm just getting really excited for them again. I just kicked my camera. The last book I've saved, in my opinion, the best till last. This is heavy. This is a graphic novel. I don't know, graphic novel, comic book. I'm never sure where this one falls or what the right term for this one is. But it is a big omnibus binder. This is volume 1 omnibus. I still need to get volume 2 and volume 3. But this is over 1,000 pages long. And I have picked up, oh my god, I don't know if I can do this, The Sandman Volume 1 Omnibus. How pretty is this? This covers 37 issues. and I am just so pleased with it. I desperately want to watch the Sandman Netflix TV series, but I haven't been able to yet, and honestly I really want to read this first, or at least read the issues that volume 1 covers. And so far I've only read the very first one, which is Sleep of the Just, but this is like my favourite thing I've ever bought. I can't describe to you how much I love this book. This is also quite a pricey book, I will say, but in my opinion it was totally worth it, and I will also, when I can afford it, I will completely be buying volume 2 and volume 3 so I can complete this collection. Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below if you've read any of these, or if you're interested in reading any of these. I would love to know. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if this seems like content you will enjoy. And I'll see you later. Bye!